Can't just sit there and muddle around and feel sorry for yourself. You got to stand back up. You know, someone always get blind by someone standing on their own 2 feet. You got to get back up. You can't sit there in pity. All right, folks, good morning to you. Rip Daniels here. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, as you can tell on Facebook, yes, we're back. And yes, I've got a guest. His name is Dr. Cameron Lewis, executive producer of a film that's opening today in theaters everywhere, but especially here on the coast because he is from the coast. He's from Gulfport. Doc, welcome to the show again.
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here. I'm so grateful, very grateful.
All right, and yeah, we're going to be there today with you when it opens there and in D'Iberville at around 3 o'clock. That's the local affiliate here. But I want to get to this because as a young man and for you to get behind this kind of play and for it to be a play about that's based on faith and your religion. I'm going to tell you, you know, the young brothers in the church are becoming fewer and fewer, which is, I think, every reason for a play like this. Could you elaborate on that?
Well, it's one thing about it is it's trusting and believing, and it's you stepping out and being confident about your faith. You know, like I said before, and a lot of times is when you go through a lot of situations, people really don't find the nail to cross until they go through something that's very deep. Like I went through a lot in my life, and I know I've been through a lot, even trying to go through the course of success, because you don't get to success until you have failure. You know, because failure is stepping stone to success. And in my life, I had to always go back to what the root of the cause was, and also had the root of my foundation. Because if you don't have any foundation to know exactly what's keeping you going, then it all breaks apart. And when I say that, meaning if God's not in the center of it, then it's hard for you to, when something happens, it's hard for you to stay grounded. Because the fact is, if it's man in the center of it and it's not God, then you're going to just fail and loose. And some people get stuck and depression start knocking the door. So as I say that, meaning that it's your faith that got it, because faith is confidence. And when I tell people faith is confidence, meaning like in Hebrews 10:35 tell you, cast not away therefore your confidence, which have a great recompense of a reward. When you have confidence in him, confidence guaranteed to cause success in your life when you refuse to let it go. It has a compensation attached to it every time. And that's what I totally believe. So every time you're going through struggles and tribulation, you always got to refer yourself back to, well, how can I get myself out? You can't get yourself out. You got to have God to be able to bring you out. It's not a self need. It's basically a God need to help you bring you through it.
So what will people draw from this film, A Question of Faith? What would you like for them to glean and lead the theater with?
This is what I want people to leave it there. I want people to be encouraged. I want them to be inspired. I want people to be able to go back and say, you really hit me where the need was. Because this film is with 3 different families, white, black, and Spanish. You're bringing unity together. They don't know each other. They're from different aspects of life, but something happens to get all of them to link. And it comes down to bringing unity, reconciliation, God's mercy, God's grace, God's favor, God's forgiveness, and things just happen. And people just lose. They don't know what to do. So everything's getting questioned. And we're human. We're going to question our faith when something devastating happens in our life. And then, but how do you go back from that? Do you stay stuck and go depression, and you go into depression mode, you start going to inferior complex, you start going to self-doubt, or do you trust God to just keep moving and follow his plan for you? That's what it matters. So in this film, it is a very emotional, it's going to take you on a very emotional roller coaster ride, because it's going to be things in there that's going to hit you right there at the heart. And that's what I wanted. When I wanted the writer and producer to make this film, I put everything in detail exactly that you must have something that's going to hit them, that say and get their attention, that you see yourself in that film, that you're going to be able to see yourself and recognize that was me, you know, and that is what I was going through, but I didn't know how I can bring myself out of it.
Dr. Cameron Lewis, man, can't wait. Talking about some drama here, folks. It's a question of faith. Here you are, successful surgeon, now a successful producer. You put your money behind it.
Oh, absolutely. Put my money, and when I trust in God, that's what I put my money in, because I know he'll bring me out no matter what I do. Absolutely.
But it's such a risk, but it's a sacrifice that you think is worth it.
To me, that risk is definitely worth it, and also that risk is low when it's in God's name. So that's what matters to me the most.
My man, congratulations. Incredible. Dr. Cameron Lewis from Gulfport, Mississippi. By way of the Tabernacle over there in D'Iberville, and now living in New York, successful dental surgeon. And now looks like a successful producer, because I don't doubt that this is just the beginning for you.
It's not the beginning. It won't be the end. We are going to keep moving. We're going to keep moving forward. And I hope to see you there, Rip.
I'm going to be there, brother. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be right there in the house here, folks. I know I've got a lot of folks standing in line here. Appreciate you being with us. Look forward to it. And don't forget, folks, that the local affiliate is going to be broadcasting live. I think Tabari's going to be there, or Shunday. It's going to be opening up today in theaters everywhere. Go. I mean, when was the last time a young 36-year-old African-American producer came along with a film and did what this young brother's doing? You know what I mean? And I think, and it's not just because he's African-American, it's because he's, you know, to me, it's more important that you see someone putting forward a good story. It's time for that now. Very good time for that. All right, hang on, folks. Quick break. We shall return. And yes, we're going to take it to the phones. I promise you. We'll be back.